Hello, my name is Rojas Ulloa. I'm an English teaching and translation student, and this is a presentation for my professional practice project. The name of it is Individualized Accompaniment and Leveling of St. Margaret School Students During the English Learning Process. It was done in St. Margaret School, located in San Antonio, Belén, and Schools of Excellence is the corporate brand of the group of private schools that function as a symbol of quality and as standardization and is committed to educational excellence. The school cares a lot about bilingualism, so students that lack English skills are of great attention for them. So that's why the project begins with a statement of the main issue with English in school and how can I be a helpful tool to come and treat this little issue that can be a problem in the future. As well as these ASD students, there are also other students from 2 to 8 students in total in 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th grade that do not suffer from autism but do not have the same level as it is expected of them to have in the grade they're in. So they are lagging with the level of English according to their grade level. So we came up with providing the students with online sessions after school. Therefore, in that way, the students will feel more comfortable at the moment of practicing English, and my job will be to leveling them into the English that is required of them to have in the specific level they're in. So therefore we have the objectives. The general one is to implement one-on-one and online English sessions to improve the English proficiency of the students at San Margaret School that have difficulties with the language and need to be leveled and accompaniment throughout their English learning process. The specific objectives are the first one, to implement the best practices of English language development and accompaniment for students on the autism spectrum and low English proficiency students at their academic grade level. The second one is to elaborate on the plan of individualized leveling classes for better performances in the English learning process of the students with and without autism spectrum. The third one is to run individualized classes with students with autism spectrum and online classes with the respected academic grade leveling after school. And the fourth one is to provide the outstanding results to the principal and to the teachers so they will know the process they had made throughout this whole project. So the procedure that was conducted that summed up a total of 182 hours is the following. The first phase is the investigation of practices and accompaniment that it was done from May 23rd to May 27th, so the first week. What I did was to get to know the students, to understand their English level, to investigate what they have been learning throughout the year, and to investigate the best practices of English learning in their condition. So what can I do to make their teaching and learning better? Then the second phase, the elaboration of the lesson plan, that it was from May 30th to August 5, week 2 to week 11. What I did was to watch a lesson every time we had classes, to test their abilities with different activities, to elaborate a lesson plan based on the English classes and on their abilities that they shown. And that was to move on to the third phase, that it was the execution of the classes from June 6th to August 5, from week 3 to week 11, that it was to execute the lesson plan, to then move with the lessons and reinforce the topics that they might have seen difficult, and to personalize the lesson based on their progress. And thanks to that, I moved on to the fourth and final phase. So then we have the fourth and final phase, that is the report of the results from June 6th to August 12th, that it was basically from week 3 to week 12. And why from so early? Well, because I had to keep a report of each lesson, of the attendance and topics, because I had to keep a report of their learning progress and grades, and then I could do the report of the results of the progress made in their lessons to the teacher and to the principal to let them know how was their English learning process and how much progress they had made in English, both the ASD students and the leveling students. So the main scope I wanted to have with this were the benefits from these one-on-one and online sessions and how much they benefit the students from school that are having difficulties understanding and learning English. So I wanted to be a help for them to understand more, to be more open. And of course the students will have the advantage to have a personal and extra teacher that accompanies them throughout their English learning process. And as well as helping them, I'm also helping their English teacher, because the teacher will benefit a lot from it too, because they will have an extra English teacher helping them in every English class, either way from the ASCA students or the leveling students. They will have an extra teacher to help them with the most difficult topics, or help them to be more open about everything, will carry out a lesson properly in their English level. So that would be a lot of help for them, and I felt like a lot of help. So I'm very proud of that. And as well as goals, there were limitations. There were days when the students did not want to go to class, so the learning process stopped for those days, or moments in where the ASD students felt unwell to learn or to even be in the class, to be with me, because they were unwilling to talk. So I had to understand that and go through a process with that also, as well as with the leveling students, because they were online sessions, so they didn't have their camera on, or they didn't want to answer, and that made my feedback harder to give. There were also the obstacle of the 15 days of vacations from week 7 to week 8, where the process also stopped and the hours didn't sum up. So many hours also helped me to manage with them, and to understand them in that way. And that break of that 15 days also helped me to reconnect with them when I saw them again. So those limitations were also a big force for me to stop for a second and see what should I do more to commit those goals, and to have them learn something, and to learn something from me as well. And also we have the most relevant aspects of the project that for me were the closing of the project, where we made the last progress result, and I gave my last and final feedback, taking into consideration all the relevant aspects I watched and I learned and I thought throughout the whole 183 hours with the students. Besides the making of the last lesson plan, because I didn't want to left them behind or without understanding an important topic, so I want to make the lesson and the lesson plan as full as I could. And I also told them and anticipated that the tutorial levelizations had to come to an end, and I was also sad because we had a great time, and it was a little hurtful for me to think about not seeing them again, and to continue with their process, to continue being helpful. So the making of the video and the 12 journals with the explanation of the activities was so important for me, because I wanted to explain my whole experience, and that's why I wanted to make this as understandable as I could, because this was such an important experience for me. I learned so much, and I grew so much every day with this project and the project making. So the due to the progress report was very important, because I got to tell the teachers and to speak with them of how important was their learning process and how much they progressed and everything. So they understood that very well, and they received it with open arms, my feedback, and they also took that into consideration for the next days and for the next years that I won't be with them. And the core aspects of my project were that I learned to get to know myself, as well as to get to know the students, to how to get to know them. And this was one of the most important lessons I learned throughout the whole beautiful experience, since I put into practice every tool that I have learned in college and in the many courses that I had taken, to make myself a better teacher and a better person every day for them and for me, right? So also to get to know their feelings, their moods, their interactions with the language, and more that was very helpful, since that is the matter, right, when teaching, to get to know them. So I learned how to prepare myself also to show them the best version of me, since they need a lot of patience and care, so that's what they need, the best version of me. I got to know how to also regulate my feelings towards them, not understanding the topic or being close to learn what they didn't want to talk. I had to regulate my feelings and not to rush everything. So I learned how to execute all those feelings too, and how to execute a project, and to create a schedule like this, and to help others to understand what they're doing. It's one of the most big lessons that I had while doing this 183 hours, while taking this course of professional practice, and while doing the hours. So planning a project and conducting it while doing what I love was one of the most beautiful experiences. And last but not least, the most salient details of my project was that at the end, the students felt so close to me and I felt so close to them that I felt that my job was done in such a nice way and nice energy that they felt that I really care for the English process, and I really care for their progress and their learning experience also. We got to know each other very well, and we got to have this beautiful connection between a teacher and a student. So I really felt that everything that I did and everything that I put into it was considered in a very good way from the students, from the teachers, and from the administrative personnel too, because thanks to my job, what I did and how I did it, I got to receive a job opportunity with them. So I feel very proud of that, and I feel that everything I did, everything I put into it, all my heart and my energy and my time also, was very well received for them, for all of them, and I feel very thankful for that. I feel very proud of myself, and I feel very proud of have done this amazing job in the professional practice, because they also saw my potential, and I feel proud of that too. So I got to be, a teacher, and I got to feel like it, and I loved it. I loved planning this whole project because I love teaching, and thanks to that, thanks to all my time and process that I put into it and passion, I got to receive a job opportunity and soon to be hired. So I feel proud of that, and I just wanted to express that, and that was my job. That was what I did for my professional practice project, and I hope you liked it. And thank you so much for listening and to put attention through all of it, and I hope you liked it too.